Oh, my fault. Sorry, I was just preparing for life next season. I was just checking out some of the venues, checking out some of the potential opposition we could be playing. Because up the EFL Reds. That's the mood right now. Manchester United are closer to the bottom of the table to any sort of relevance in the Premier League, both in terms of form, both in terms of performances, in terms of results, in terms of placement in the league. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in massive trouble. This is bad. This is very, very bad. Man United have just lost 3 consecutive home games in the Premier League in God knows how long. It's been a wretched, wretched December for us. And it just goes from bad to worse. And the worst thing is, tonight, did anyone really expect any differently? Did anybody really expect any differently from tonight? Because we lost to Bournemouth, we lost to Forest, we've lost to Arsenal. You look at the form Newcastle came in before this game. You look at the squad that we put out today. Did anybody really deep down actually think we were getting something from this game? I didn't. And I think a lot of people at home felt the same exact way. And that's the saddest place you can be as a football fan. When you actually go into games not even expecting, not even like, you can hope all you want, but you know deep down it ain't happening. That's a sad place to be as a football fan. And I don't think many fans of teams across the league actually think like that. I think Fulham fans genuinely go into every game, especially the big ones, and like, yeah, we could get something today. Yeah, we're playing Arsenal at home. Yeah, we could get a result. Go to Stamford Bridge. Yeah, we could nick a win. You look at Bournemouth, similar. Villa, similar. Brighton, similar. Their fans go to any ground, play any team at home, and think, yeah, we could be up for it today. We could get something today. Man United are so bad right now, ladies and gentlemen, that every single game I go into it fearing for the worst. Not hoping for the best, fearing for the worst. And today's no different. I'm really like thinking to myself during these games as well too. What can I say differently in today's match reaction? How can I make this more interesting? How can I bring a new perspective? What angle can I kind of target this video? Just so I'm not saying the same thing. You guys have heard me say Højlund's not good enough about 15 videos in a row now. What's the angle for today? I mean, there's a few places we can start. The lineup, oh my goodness. Now, I understand there were suspensions today. Bruno Fernandes not available. Manuel Ugarte not available. But my goodness, Ruben, you've trained these guys for a few weeks now. And you thought that Casemiro and Eriksen as a midfield two against one of the most athletic, intense midfields in the entire league in Bruno, Joelinton, and Tonali would be a good idea. Look, bro, I'm trying my damn hardest to defend you every single one of these videos. I see the comments. People are saying, hey, manager's not to blame, manager's not to blame. And I'm patient. I'm willing to give this time. And I'm willing to look at other places before you. But really, I can't defend that. That's sacrilegious. That's blasphemous. That midfield against Casemiro and Eriksen, there should be an OAP out for them. They're on the cusp of retirement. Those two in midfield against the most physical, intense midfield in the league. Damn near. That's suicidal. That's kamikaze. What were you thinking? And then just ahead of them, playing Ahmad and Zirkzee as your 210s. Now, Zirkzee is a big talking point from today, right? Because after that first 30 minutes, right, we could have been down 4-5-0. Honestly, the setup today was awful. And genuinely, Newcastle could have scored 5 in that first 30 minutes. No exaggeration here. The amount of times they picked us apart, passed us to death by a million passes, found themselves one-on-one. At one point, guys, Trippier was trying to score direct from a corner. This is what we've resorted to now. This is what we've resorted to. Opposition corner kick takers are trying to recreate Chris MD challenges against our goalkeeper. That's what they've resorted to. Because they've seen the last 2 weeks, Olympico. No one had ever even heard of this word before 2 weeks ago. Now, every single time, it's like, oh, you get 2 goals if you score an Olympico. What the hell is going on here? I've never seen this in my life before. I've never seen a team that an opposition comes in and they purposely try scoring off set pieces. It's instruction. Score off a corner. Score directly from a corner. That's never happened before. No team has ever been instructed to go into games and try scoring direct from corners. Now, every team that plays us, they're attempting it. And they almost did it today. But that first 30 minutes, right? We go down 2-0. Genuinely, it could have been 3, 4, 5, easy. Isak, Gordon, Joelinton, Bruno, oh my, Tonali. They picked us apart for fun, man. They picked us apart for fun. That's one of the most dominant performances from an opposition side at Old Trafford I've seen in years. And we had no answer for it. And that kid Zirkzee up front, I feel for him today, honestly. No, I don't feel for him because, oh, he deserves better, because he's not that great. He's average. Honestly, he's an average player. But I feel for him because he shouldn't have started today. And he shouldn't have started in that setup. And Amorim, look, I'm not going to blame him. I'm seeing some people say it's harsh from Amorim. It's not harsh. Where are we in the league right now? We're 14th in the league. 1 point ahead of Crystal Palace. So forget about harsh. We are literally at the bottom. It's very difficult to get much lower than it is at Man United right now. Any lower, and we're actually, like I was joking about the EFL, we will actually be in a relegation dogfight if we go any lower than we currently are. So it's not harsh that Amorim hooks Zirkzee off. That's not harsh. That's football, bro. It's a results-based business. Amorim's job's on the line here, right? We're fighting for results, tooth and nail. So that's not harsh. It is harsh when your entire stadium, your entire home fans are cheering you off the pitch. They're cheering you coming off. You coming off is bringing the only joy that Man United fans had at the ground today. That's crazy, guys. That's crazy. Now, I remember a few years ago under Ranić, I was at the game at Old Trafford against Atletico when we lost 1-0, crashed out of the Champions League. And I remember Harry Maguire coming off around 60 minutes and Man United fans all around me standing up and cheering that Harry Maguire was coming off. And I remember thinking like, wow, this has got to be the most humiliating ritual for any footballer to go through. Coming off and your entire stadium is literally on their feet, applauding your substitution because it's like, wow, we don't have to be put through the misery of watching you play anymore. Jesus Christ, man, that is a sorry sight. And I felt for Zirkzee in that moment. But in terms of Amorim taking him off, absolutely no regret whatsoever. I tweeted it, and I'm standing by this. INEOS has to cut their losses with Zirkzee. They made a mistake with him. That's fine. Mistakes happen. Bad signings happen. It happens one too many times for our club, for my liking, but they happen. Don't be like the Glazers who made bad signings and then kept them around for the duration of their contract, hoping that the form would turn. It never did. Then throw another contract and extend their contract by another year because you want to extend their value. Let that year go, and then they end up leaving for free. It happens so many times with United. Don't let it happen again. Zirkzee, I'm sorry. It doesn't take a footballing specialist, a footballing, expert to see that at United, it's just not going to work out. No offense, no disrespect. I don't feel a way about it. You shouldn't either. It's not going to work out for Zirkzee. So what benefit for anybody does it make keeping him around for 3 more years? Try and find a solution in January that works for all parties. United get his wages off the book. Maybe we can get some of the salary. Maybe we can get some of the transfer fee back. Zirkzee goes back to Serie A or something, reinvigorates his career because he's still young. Maybe Juve finds a role for him. Thiago Motta used him at Bologna. Something. Everyone's happy. But it doesn't do us any good keeping players like that around when they are clearly not working. Cut your losses. Big teams do that. Chelsea, they would get rid of him. Chelsea would get rid of Zirkzee if it was Chelsea. Abramovich, Todd Bowley, they would get rid of him. We need to do similar. Real Madrid, they'd get rid of him. Man United need to start acting ruthless, honestly. Because this squad right here, they will get Man United relegated. I'm being dead serious right now. If Manchester United do not attack this January transfer window with aggression and intent and an aim to clear out players and bring new ones in, I'm talking 3 in, 3 out minimum, we are going to be in a relegation dogfight. And I don't mean that lightly. We don't look like we can beat anybody. I was saying this the last few weeks about City. Where's the next win coming from? And they didn't win for 13 games. Or they won 1 in 13. I'm saying it again about United. Where's the next win coming from? Because I'll tell you the next few results. Next few games. Liverpool away. Boy, if we play that first half, oh my goodness gracious. Liverpool, that's 7-0. They might break their own record. They might hit us for 8. Salah against us. He already has a crazy record. Next week. We got Arsenal in the cup after that. Right off. Us on set pieces. We just saw it 3 weeks ago. Nothing's changed. Arsenal, they got Nico Jover. We got the anti-Jover, man. Who is our set piece coach? Who's our coach in terms of defending crosses? Because another 2 goals today off crosses, whether you call it set pieces, direct crosses. We suck at defending them. The first goal that we concede, guys, oh my goodness gracious. It's right off the training ground. It's genuinely right off the training ground. You couldn't write how easy of a goal that is to concede. Lewis Hall picks up the ball on the left with time and space. He could have literally sat his ass down, opened up a picnic basket, made himself a sandwich, eat a sandwich, and then get back up and prepare to cross it by the time they closed him out. Wide open. And then Alexander Isak, literally not a soul around him. An open header by every definition of the word. Easy. Goal. 1-0. The second one. Licha, man. Oh my goodness gracious. No offense, right? No disrespect here, honestly. Because I respect Lisandro as a man. And what I'm about to say is going to sound crazy. I respect Lisandro Martinez as a man. But that was emasculating. What Joelinton did to you was emasculating. That's crazy. I'm sorry, I've defended Lisandro a lot over the last 3 years. Cam, I live with Cam, as some of you guys might know. Cam has not been about Lisandro since the minute we signed him. He's always had his doubts. Always. And I was someone kept going back and forth with him. Nah, man, Lisandro, what he offers us on the ball, he doesn't really get exposed that much in the air. At least he didn't in his first year or so. Yeah, I hear the issues defending wide channels, but Lisandro's a positive. I'm sorry. That's a red flag. The ease in which Joelinton just bodied you. That's a grown man move right there. He literally dunked on Lisandro Martinez. And we saw it against Forest too. Very similar against him as well. Guys, that can't fly. I like Lisandro. Like I said, I like him. I think he has some qualities. But nah, that can't fly. That cannot be something that opposition teams now see and say, all right, we're going to direct crosses at Lisandro because we know that's cash money. Just jump, goal. Honestly, I was embarrassed for Lisandro there. Genuinely. That's a really bad moment. Because it didn't even look like he had a chance. That's not a lack of effort. It's not a lack of skill. It's just a lack of size. Joelinton literally ate him. You can't defend like that, man. You can't defend like that. And honestly, they had so many chances. The Zirkzee change, right? Like I said, it's the right decision. It's a bad response from the United fans. Even though, no, you know what? I was going to say I can't blame them, but I can't blame them. You should never be cheering, especially a kid of, Zirkzee's 23? That's ruined Zirkzee now, honestly. Like I said, he doesn't have a future at United anyways. But no one deserves to be basically humiliated by your own fans. I didn't like seeing that whatsoever. Genuinely, that wasn't a good look whatsoever. Yeah, being subbed off in 30 minutes is bad enough, honestly, because that's basically the manager saying, yeah, you're the problem, get out. But your own fans turning on you like that, when Zirkzee has played what? Has he started 10 games for us? Like, that's just not a good look, man. Honestly. I feel for Zirkzee in that sense. Honestly, the substitution actually made a difference. Kobbie Mainoo came in, and Mainoo had to start. Mainoo changed the game. We didn't get anything from the game, but he changed it in terms of we went from literally facing a chance every 30 seconds to, okay, we can keep the ball a little and actually take the game to Newcastle. And from there, it actually became somewhat of an even game. And I would say at times, United were the better side, or at least they were the more front-footed side. The first half, we should score. One of those chances, Rasmus Højlund gets played through, that little delicate little dinky legs, wide. I'm sorry. We always talk about how Højlund doesn't get any service. Well, when you get your chances, then you better damn well finish them then. About no service. Don't tell me no service. He gets one chance and he misses it then, because God knows he's not bringing anything else to the table. And then, oh man, there's one moment as well too. Kobbie gets the ball off a high press. It's like a 3-on-2. He slots in Casemiro, and yeah, the pass isn't perfect. It should be probably in front of Casemiro. Casemiro opens up his body, and then first time, doesn't take a touch, first time, tries guiding it, like bending it, arcing it into the far post. As if, like, vintage a la Thierry Henry. Like, honestly, like, you would think he's like Van Basten or something like that. Who do you think you are? And then he gets annoyed and then starts blaming Kobbie for the pass being behind him. My brother, it could have been 50 yards behind you. Take a touch! Literally take a touch. Who do you think you are? There was one attempt as well, too. First half, Casemiro, I think he struck it. It might have gone out for a throw-in. And I'm just looking at this guy and saying, yeah, you got to be one of the first ones we let go of, man. Honestly, like, INEOS, you can do all the cost-cutting you want. Honestly, like, some of it, for me, it's disappointing to see. Some of it, honestly, I could care less. Like, these staff members who are being laid off now. We're a failing institution. Yeah, heads are going to have to roll. I get that. There's some stuff, like the recent news of them kind of cutting funding for the old retired United players. That doesn't really sit well with me, right? That doesn't sit well with me. But cutting, I don't know, employees of the club, like staff members or I don't know, janitors. If the club's failing, yeah, some people got to pay with their jobs. No shit. But please show that same energy with some of these players. Don't tell me in the summer, oh, Casemiro, the wages he was on, it was too much for us to move. So hopefully he can give us another year. His experience is going to be dressed. Don't try and sell me his experience in the dressing room, man. Don't try and sell me that shit. That's 3 games in a row before this. He couldn't buy a start. He's not in Amarim's plans. He's no longer good enough. Ship him. I don't care if it means you cover half his salary. I don't care if it means you come to an agreement with him or something. He can't be at the club next year. If you want to progress as a football club, guys like Casemiro, guys like Eriksen, guys like Victor Lindelof, guys like Johnny Evans, these guys are the first ones to go. That's before we even get into the younger players. But those guys, they're no longer up to the level. Get them gone. Get them gone. The second half, right? United fans probably take a little encouragement from it. And to be fair, I hear it because the second half was all United for the most part. They were pressing from the front foot. They were aggressive. They were direct. They were creating chances. But here's the key word out of all of those. They were all of those, yes. But more than anything, they were desperate. And that's why for me, I can't lie, I'm not moved. Even if we had got a draw out of that, I wouldn't be moved. Because I've been watching United since 2006. I can tell you every single year a game where we have gone 1, 2, or 3-0 down, and in the second half we come out and we just throw everything out the kitchen sink. Everything. I see it every single year. Don't believe me? Last year against Villa. Last year against Liverpool. Obviously that great comeback against Spurs. Newcastle with Jose Mourinho. Under Oli, who was that comeback that we had? Atalanta in the Champions League. Every single manager, every single team, Man United tries this comeback once a year. And it's not like, oh, the manager really like changes things up too much. It's not like, oh, we just clocked Newcastle. No, what we do is we basically commit in FIFA, right? If you hit the analog stick like twice to the right, you go ultra attacking and you basically leave everyone in attack. No one's defending. It's like one last roll of the dice, but you typically do that like last 5 minutes you're chasing a goal. Now United does this thing. Like I said, every year you can find a comeback like this, or like an attempted comeback. They push everybody forward for half the game in a desperate attempt to save their blushes. There were a few times today where United had like one defender back, and Isak, if he was on his game today, he would have punished us. So yeah, we basically caged Newcastle in, but out of pure desperation, not out of quality. Not out of some crazy tactical tweak from Emery, out of pure desperation. And here's the thing, right? Over the last few years, those comebacks have worked. Pogba, Martial, last year Ahmad. Last year, I think Rashford scored in that game as well, too. In the past, Rooney and Ronaldo against Spurs. Like I said, every single manager, Atalanta, Cristiano, Rashford again. Those are quality players. Whether you like them or not, they're talented players. They have what I call X factor. This Manchester United team has such little individual quality that even throwing everything at the kitchen sink, yeah, they had chances, but when the chances are falling to Højlund, Dalot, to Garnacho, Maguire, like what are you really expecting? This is the sad state of affairs. Yeah, that United vintage comeback with better players that could have been on the cards today. But that just tells the whole sorry story. We don't even have players to pull those comebacks off anymore. You could have given this United team, I would say, another day to play. Would they have scored? How can you win games with this attack? How? I see Garnacho today, right? I really don't want to scapegoat him because there's bigger problems at United. He's not the biggest issue here. But every cameo he's had for the last 5 weeks, think about it. Like I can think of Spurs when he came on, Bournemouth when he came on, today when he came on. They're net negative cameos, if that. The best they can get to is like net neutral. He's coming on, he's looking at his fullback, he's doing this little shimmy, little feint, and the fullback is looking at him like, give me that shit, man. Give me that shit. That's little boy stuff. Garnacho doesn't have the explosiveness or the trickery or the 1v1 ability to even take on his fullback anymore. Honestly, Livramento ate him up. Bruno Guimaraes ate him up. Joelinton ate him up. He posed no threat. He came on and offered you absolutely nothing. And that's a guy who's coming on to help change the game. So you're looking at the bench and you're bringing on Antony, who at one point tried running the entire length of the wing just to kind of be eased off the ball. Garnacho, he's playing like he got 2-star skills right now. We're in for a long season, man, honestly. And again, for me, the theme of this video, right, is this is only good. Like, there's only a positive to take out of these games if it incites change. If it incites chaos at INEOS. If it incites like, wow, alarm bells are ringing now. We need to do something to change it. If not, if we're just going to go into January and say, yeah, Rashford, you're gone. We know that, right? He was on the bench today. I wonder why, to be honest with you, right? Who did it benefit putting Rashford on the bench today? If you're not going to play him. Like me personally, if you're not playing him the last few weeks, it's with the intent of he's no longer in my plans. Why keep him on the bench today? And then the camera keeps panning over to him. He's not coming on. Who does that benefit? Doesn't benefit Rashford. Doesn't benefit us. But yeah, okay. What if INEOS are all they're going to do this window is offload Rashford, maybe loan out a youngster, maybe sell Zirkzee. That's all good and well, but you're not improving the squad by doing that. If anything, even though I don't rate those two like that, you're weakening the depth. We already have a thin front line with little talent. The solution isn't to just get rid of guys without bringing in replacements. And if we're going to go with this team for the rest of the season, guys, we are going to be in a relegation dogfight. Don't think United are too big to be down there. No team is big enough to fail. No team is too big to fail. Remember that. It happened with Leeds. And I know that was a long time ago and that was more financially driven, but no team is too big to fail. Chelsea, I remember under Graham Potter at one point, they were approaching that territory. Arsenal, first season under Arteta, or maybe it was second. Yeah, there were murmurings. I remember that time. United aren't too big for that. It's on INEOS now. Honestly, the proof's in the pudding. The writing's on the wall. These performances are staring you deadpan in the face. I saw INEOS members today. I saw them all in the crowd watching. Don't let Ruben Amorim drown this season. As much as he's not blameless for today's performance, don't let him drown. Because genuinely, these players will take him down as a manager, and these players will take you down as a club. We have a bottom set squad. I'm looking at INEOS now. You have to amend it. The writing will never be clearer on the wall than now. Newcastle, congratulations on the win. I honestly thought this was one of their weaker performances out of the last. They were 3 wins in a row before this game. I thought this was their weakest performance out of the 4 games. The first half was good. Second half, bro, they didn't get out of second gear. That tells you what Newcastle are. They're now 3 points behind Chelsea. And all of a sudden, a team that I think people were kind of turning their nose up at this year are on the cusp of Champions League football again. And when you have players like Isak, you have players like Bruno Guimaraes, you have players like Anthony Gordon, Joelinton, Lewis Hall on the left, top player. Livramento on the right, top player. Harvey Barnes coming off the bench. All of these players would genuinely come to United and make a case for being the best player at the club. All of those players just named, Tonali as well too. They would all come to United and be one of the first names on the team sheet. And the problem is, every game United play, I find myself saying that about the opposition. Every single team United plays against, I look at players on the other side saying, you would improve our squad. At Manchester United. It's a dark, dark time to be a fan right now, bro. It's a dark, dark time to be a fan. Honestly. Stay tuned. Honestly, stay strapped in. Because honestly, I think it's only getting worse. Liverpool next week. What's the expression? An unstoppable force meets an immovable object. This is an unstoppable force meets a stick. It meets a blade of grass. It meets the thinnest piece of paper on the planet. That's what we're getting right now. A meteorite against a blade of grass. That's what we're getting with Liverpool versus United. It'll be a miracle if they keep it below 4-0. I genuinely mean that. Remember this. If United keeps it below 4-0, that's a successful day at the office. That's how bad the standards have dropped. INEOS. The keys to saving the season lie with you. You know what to do. It's uncomfortable, but you know what to do. I think this week I'm going to make a United tier list in terms of keep or sell. Players that should be at the club going forward. I'll tell you this right now. Spoiler alert. There's not going to be too many that we keep.